There we go. Damn, if here we are. Look at this. Look at us.
What's up, Al?
The whole thing's very impressive, I can tell you. And welcome everybody who's joining us today. I am over the last, couple of months, I suppose, I've been Stuttering John's unofficial tech advisor, I suppose, right?
Yep.
And
so I am the disaster part of the disaster class.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And part of like getting good at all this stuff has been on my path, sort of like screwing myself into a corner as far as technology goes and having to find a way out and all that kind of stuff. So I, on a bunch of fronts, I have been like basically testing out almost every possible form of technology that's available on a lot of fronts. And I think, let me check real quick, but we might even be able to pop in a chat and see if there's any chat coming in. There they are. Look at this. What's happening, people?
I like how somebody said, I look forward to this train wreck.
Well, the nice thing is I think at some point, and you should be able to see on your end that you'll be able to share your screen, and I guess I let you or something like that. But at the very least, you can follow through with what I'm going to show you in doing this and kind of check off and understand the basics of what we're going to do today. So there's a couple of things I want to share with folks today that will help you, Stuttering John, and anybody else who's thinking of streaming. And the first one is that there's a few different ways to do it. Right now, you use StreamYard, right? That's your main one.
Yeah.
Okay. And you use that to go out to 3 sources?
Well, interesting you say that, Hal. Today,
Yes.
As per your guidance, I set up a Facebook page, and now
Excellent.
I'll be able to broadcast to my Facebook page. But Periscope I could do, but you said that's going away soon, right?
Yeah, they're just going to transfer it over. I think it'll be fairly seamless. You won't lose your account. It'll just turn into it overnight, and it'll have better features. I think they're building it and launching it in March. So it doesn't hurt to do it right now. But most of the time, quite frankly, I find that Periscope is the worst as far as trolls. Now,
yeah.
that's changing a little bit because of the bot purge that Twitter's been doing on Periscope. So it's helped a little. I've noticed that's dialed down. They're definitely chasing around Facebook right now more than I think Periscope, but they're still there. And
Twitch, I have to get that all set up. Twitch,
right? And by the way, I have, if you'll notice in the chat that comes up here, I have like multiple people that will show up as they start conversing from different sites. So there's Facebook, there's Twitch, there's YouTube.
Nice.
All these are available inside Restream. So for your purposes, most of the time when you're doing what you do for your show, quite frankly, you might be able to get along really well using just the studio inside Restream if you decide to use that service. There's a few of them.
Is that slobs?
No, that isn't. This is I'm giving you 2 backup levels. I use Restream to get slobs, which is Streamlabs OBS for those of you that don't know. OBS is an open broadcasting software that's free, and people make little add-ons for it, and it's an open source software, so nobody owns it. So anybody can make their own version of OBS. Well, Streamlabs is one of these companies that was making alert things for Twitch. A lot of Twitch streamers were using the ability to use OBS and add little goofy graphics and stuff like that they normally would have to pay a lot for or whatever, or to get a piece of software that does exactly what they want, they'd have to start from scratch. Like Wirecast or some of these other pieces of software I've used over the years are super expensive. So they have those features, but they cost you $600 a year, and and to get some of the features, it's like $30 a month on top of that. So it's kind of a dick move. But in the process, what you get is, in this case, Streamlabs made their own version of OBS, the free software. And I showed you this the other day. Let me take.
Yeah, I have this, but so now you're telling me I should do Restream. So now you're confusing me.
Hold on, I'm layering you up. So Restream is what you will use to get slobs this thing onto the internet. Okay, this is what you'll use to do, like the next level of your show. And I'm going to show you how to use that today and what it involves and how great it is and all the extra stuff it gives you, which is the reason, by the way, that I wouldn't just straight up use what the Restream Studio that's built in is the lack of overlays. And overlays are a very specific element of streaming that are unique to OBS and slobs and that kind of software, in that it's called a browser overlay. And what it does is it gives you a plugin or a screenshot of something that's a graphic or something available to you, and you can modify that, and then it will do things on screen that you don't have to monitor. The rest of it is transparent. And I guess the most obvious one is this guy right here, over in the left-hand corner of my screen, to my right here. See where I'm pointing in the big screen? That's my little tip jar, which is really fun. So when people give me bits on Twitch or they, super chat or something like that, for the longest time, unless I saw it, because the chat goes by so fast, it was hard for me, even while I'm doing the show, to recognize them and give them the recognition I think they deserve and make sure, so nobody has to tap me on the shoulder and go, hey, you got a super chat, because there's nobody here. So that really helps. I watch that, and that little animation or the little overlays, which I'll show you. I'll do a so I have also
how, on the Tonight Show and working with the graphic department, tons of overlays in order to do special effects. Like I'd make Barack Obama fly on, away on a jet engine. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Well, that's normal, like cartoon, animation over top of it. The difference is a browser overlay is an interactive device. Beyond just being an animation, it does things. I'll show you a test what happens. Like I have an alert box. And so I'll test the alert box right now, and you should be able to see it. See that little thing that just popped up right over my left shoulder right here? I'll make it a little bigger on this screen, just artificially.
I'm echoing, Hal. How do I put this microphone on? I'm probably using the computer mic right now.
You're using the computer mic, and you're echoing, or I'm echoing? I might be loud.
I'm echoing.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. That I've got echo turned off. Let me try this. This might be easier. I'm going to use headphones for the rest of this guy, just so that we can.
Is there a way I could change the mic into,
Nah, don't worry about it. What we'll do is switch. So this should make it a little better. Say something so I can hear you.
I don't know what this guy Mike Petty's talking about. Mike, I don't have a problem with you. I don't moderate, my chat room. So if anybody threw you off, it wasn't me.
And by the way, ignore that concern for the time being. If you're not actively responsible for something happening in the chat when you have hundreds of people in there, if you get bogged down chasing bogeys, you'll ignore all the people in the chat who aren't getting tossed off and stuff like that. That's another lesson that's an emotional lesson. We'll get you all healed up with Howard Stern in the process. I'll fix all this shit. But right now, what I'd like you to do is just focus on.
Don't worry, I got it.
I know. So anyways, so in the course of this, let me make this a little bigger so you can see let's see, where's my, it'll be in here. Beanboard overlays. Oh, the overlays are in here. So I'll go down to the overlays page on this one. So what I did is I put my overlays in a separate thing so I can, I don't have to double up on them, but I'm going to make this guy really obnoxiously big right now. And then when we go back to my screen, I'll test it again and you'll see that every time somebody subscribes, you'll see something like that come up.
Well,
or every time.
Oh, I see it. Okay. Yeah.
See it? Yeah. So, right. It. So, right. So anytime those are browser overlays.
Okay.
Okay. And those are the single reason why the live studio stuff in Restream or why StreamYard are shortchanging your stream or anybody's stream. Not having browser overlays, at least the access to them, is a huge part of the problem. Like in this, like for example, I get, you've asked me a bunch of times about the Venmo logo, this guy right here.
Yeah.
Which is immensely helpful. And by the way, anybody who wants to support the stream, you can just take a picture of that with your phone and Venmo me and say thanks for teaching us how to use this crazy stuff. All right. But anyways, so the ability to add those kind of things or nicer name graphics like this over yourself and just kind of like upgrade your show, especially considering that most of this stuff is either free or super cheap compared to what it is. And since you're doing it professionally now, this is your gig, you want to level up. So the only thing that would, to me, that would say, just use Live Studio that's built into Restream, do it in the browser, or just use StreamYards and just get a better setup. The only thing that would stop me from saying that is that you can't use any of these browser overlays in any of that software.
I love it.
Right. So that's why you need slobs. That's why you need OBS or some other form of software. Now, there's a couple of other pieces of software. There's actually 3 that I have used over time before I settled on Streamlabs OBS. I have raw OBS, which is, I've got a version of it for backup in case everything falls apart. I just have it sitting there and it's very bare, very raw. It doesn't have all these extra features. So it's just in case, right? Then there's Ecamm. Ecamm is actually pretty terrific and it allows you to use browser overlays in there. And it allows you to have a guest on inside the software, meaning you call them just like you would with StreamYards, and they get a link that brings them into the software, as opposed to having to Skype them and take a picture of the screen and crap around like that. It makes it easier, but you trade off, for the ease of use trades off the functionality. I always go for functionality. Some people like yourself can go straight to ease of use. So I'm going to at some point walk you through the stages of like getting you into Ecamm and then this practically and having these as backups. Now the problem is you have to pay for all these monthly. So you don't want to have all of them all the time like I do, because it can be a waste if you're not, streaming every single day. It's always live and you can't move it around, that kind of thing. So that's why I still have Ecamm on the ready. But Slobs I found is the one that allows me the most flexibility. And the reason it does is because Slobs uses a thing called scenes, which let me see if I can get rid of the graph. Let's see, is it in captions? Yeah, let me turn this off.
Are you broadcasting on Slobs now?
No, I am broadcasting using the Live Studio Pro in Restream, which is Restream is not software. It is the website I use to multi-stream. Because Restream just basically bounces the stream out of whatever software you're using into all the other sites. And I've had, as it's grown, I've had issues with it. There's a couple of times where Facebook just rejected Restream for a while. There was a time when YouTube wouldn't let you do it because they want you to use YouTube Studio. There's a workaround to it now. It's fine. And you can now go into each one individually while your show's on, while it's bouncing through, and use all the studio features like moderation and super chat stuff, and, looking at your analytics, which I mean is craziness, but some people do that. You can do that. But right now, let's just focus on this aspect of things, in that there are basically only 5 blocks of information that you got to deal with when you're dealing with slobs. Okay. And we talked about how this is kind of like the analogy is a music mixing board. Once you know one thing, you know everything.
Yep.
Okay. And so for anybody following along, and if you're interested in, and this sort of applies, I think, to almost any situation where you'll find yourself trying to learn a new gig or a new technology or anything like that, is that most of the time it's a matter of either scale or volume, meaning you learn one track of a mixing board, figure it out, you know the whole board, because it's just repeating the same thing over and over again. And then in other cases, it's scale. Like if I turn this knob on this thing, it goes in 1 centimeter increments. And if I turn the one on this knob, it goes to 1 foot increments, that kind of stuff. Like it's a matter of scale, but it's all the same stuff. So when we're looking at slobs, let's just blanketly look at what the software is doing. And most of them operate like this in some form or fashion. Wirecast, they all have variants on them, but they all basically do the same thing. And basically, there's the screen that you're seeing at the top, which is me right here. And that's what's going out on the air. Okay? There is a thing that it allows you to have a ready screen before, which is this. And so if I want to, if I've got a screen I've got coming up that's going to go, then I can, the one with me is on the air, and then the one that's waiting over there on this side is next up. And then I hit transition, it brings it over there, and then I can bring up the next shot like that, like a real TV studio, like go camera 1, go camera 2.
I got it.
Right. Most of the time, once you've got it set up, you don't need to do that anymore, and you just go between your 4 main shots, right? Yeah, and right now I have, my primary ones are, I have a starting screen, I have me talking, so I can talk directly to the audience. I have my commentary shot, which is, and I don't have my green screen, so you're just seeing the block out of where I'm normally cut out in the green screen, but is me talking over that screen that's right there, that, you know, is the fill in. And then in that, I put whatever video I'm talking over. So I'm really doing a lot of, you know, that's the main part of my show. And then I end the stream this way. Now, there's another added one that I have, which is me and Johnny, which is this and this, because it's me and my buddy Johnny Million on my radio show. I put him in this window right here next to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that.
Right. Now, that's really just the easiest part of it. Now, like I said, I have a separate screen, a separate scene rather, that I add to others, which has 2 overlays in it. One is the little mug in it, and the little the alert bar, which will go like this normally. Now, this is its own thing when it and the reason is I put this scene in other scenes like a layer, so that if I need to take it out because the software is buggy or it's just making too much noise, I can turn it off with one shot instead of having to go through and go, okay, turn off the mug, turn off the alerts, turn off the, you know what I mean? It all goes in one thing. So it's like a little folder. But the first thing we'll start with is, okay, this is the image. This is what's going out. This mini feed right here is telling me what's going on as far as people like
it's so small for me to see how.
Right. Let's see if I can, if it'll allow me to just bring it bigger. Yeah. I mean, essentially, yeah, that'll be the, you know, this just, for all practical purposes, just take my word for it. But in this case, and you can expand your, I think you can go full screen with your browser on the, you know, on this, and it'll make it a little easier for you. But essentially, the top one is what's going out on the air. This mini feed in Slobs is what's happening in terms of audience. So somebody just followed, another person just followed. We had Heidi Ho neighbor 15 minutes ago resubscribed. This is their 2nd month resubscribing, because on Twitch, people have to subscribe again and again. And by the way, if you're on Twitch and you have Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you a dime to subscribe to the show. That's kind of cool too. So we'll get you hooked up on Twitch next. That'll be the next thing, Stuttering John. So that's just kind of giving you an idea of what's going on. So sometimes if I missed a super chat and somebody goes, that went by and you missed it, or I didn't see the alert because I was yammering, it'll be in this feed and I can scroll back and see it and go, thank you. And if they had a message, I can see it instead of having to scroll through a chat.
I have the same thing. StreamYard, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then down here is the scenes, what's in the scene, and then the audio. That's it. So this is just 3 lanes essentially. Over here is all the scenes you'll switch between. The middle one is all the stuff that's in any particular scene. And what we'll do is they allow you, which is pretty amazing, and I'll show you some of them right now, is that you can download on Slobs multiple versions of any number of either game styled or what's called IRL, in real life overlays. So that, there you go. So somebody just subscribed, so that one showed up there. So all these have their own starting screens, their own transition music. You know, they're just chatting stuff where you put your camera in. Now, in this case, I have to, let's see, I'll add the camera in here because it's going to get crazy on me. But in the process, you just put your stuff in there, arrange it, off you go. These are all like, there's so many of these and they all come with different settings and that kind of stuff. But so I've gone through a bunch until I made my own effectively. So style wise, you can change it for, okay, this is my setup for my regular stream when I just have guests on. This is my setup for beers on the balcony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is like my game one, for example, where when I have the ability to game, I can actually use this setup. And so normally, like
pages that you're clicking on there.
Yeah, so I'm clicking through scenes on the left. So these are all called scenes. It's just like scenes in a movie. You know, your 2-shot, your 1-shot, your, you know, that kind of idea. So in this case, like right now, I have some of the stuff turned out, but I would be in that little corner box, and then there'd be stuff going on up in the upper left-hand corner, and then the whole screen is the video game. The OBS link is what I use to link to my Xbox. So that's mainly what you see. And then the bottom gives me one of those browser layers that allows you to tell you what's going on when people subscribe and when people give stuff, and they get to see themselves. And there's like a leaderboard. So if people are competing and that kind of stuff. Okay. Can a gift card be used to support these programs? Thank you, Forrest, even for asking. That's lovely. I suppose so. There's an in real life address, a PO box at my thing. If you want to mail me a gift card, you're welcome to it. That's very lovely. And Amoeba Stampede just resubscribed for their 6th month, which I appreciate. And it's always a good reminder to let people know they can do that. You should constantly. I'm terrible at it, but that's one of my lessons. You're way better at the advertising and pushing of the super chats and stuff than I am at this part of it. So that's something I've been able to pick up from you. But in all of these, there's just so many style variants that are already built that you can make your own show based around. Just arrange it where you want to be on screen, what you want it to look like, and then you just by clicking on these, it transitions to another scene. So pretty cool. That's one of the great things about it. So in each of these, let's just start with, okay, big game. That's got a lot of stuff in it already. So how about this? I'll just make a whole new scene. So I'm just going to click on this. And I'm going to make a brand new scene.
So what do you click on? Is that on, you know, how do you make the new scene?
There's a little plus and a little minus in the scenes window. You can see them kind of lighting up as I scroll over them. So a plus will do this, minus will remove it, and then the scene transitions you can modify, so you can transition it using the little gear right here. You can pick which one. So in this new scene, there is nothing, right? It's just a blank screen. So let's just say all I really care about, and these are all the options you can have to add stuff to the screen. Oh, you can't see that right now. I don't know why that is. That's funny. I'm going to do something real quick. Let me modify let's see, turn off the share screen and see. I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm going to go to screen share again. And what I'm going to do is choose screen 1, I think. Yes. Allow. There we go. Now, let me see if I can move this over here so you can see a little bit better of it. In this, move this guy over here, and we'll have it again. So there we go. So wait, no, there we go. So this is what it looks like. Here's the full screen on here. And then when you want to add stuff to the screen, oh, this is layering up. That's fun. I'll turn this off and then back on, and then it'll wake up and hopefully, okay, either way. All right. So in this, that's so funny. It's cycling in on itself because it's seeing itself. I see. That's fun. All right. I'll try and move this in. We can see it. So, or I'll just move it over here. In this, there's standard stuff you want in the window. There's widgets, which are those chat overlay things. And then there's apps that I've added. None of these come stock. Yeah, I add those later if you want. And they make like graphics and overlays and silly stuff and whatever. Like,
is that like the Trump head that you did?
Yes, it's the rolling hair that goes by, and then it's like the Zoltan that comes up when I cued it with a Z key on my keyboard so that anytime I hit Z, the Zoltan hands come up. Right. But let's say, okay, in here, I'm just going to choose a video capture device, which is, clearly in this. Let's see, we'll go to, I'll add a new source because I think it's called something else in this one, but I'll just call it the cam link because that's what I'm using. And I'll add that source, and in it, I'll go to the cam link 4K, and that's it. Okay, so there it is. Now, when it comes to a camera, there's several options you can use as what size. I always use high because it will magically figure out the best quality for the screen. So there it is. And then if you grab the corners, you can shrink it and grow it just like any other thing, right? This kind of thing. One of the sweet deals is if you grab the side ones or the top ones, you can crop it by holding the option key. So I can bring in the sides if I just want me in like this, like that. And I want to let's just create a screen where I'm like this. Get it?
Yeah.
So I can put myself in a smaller space. And then on top of that, I can add an alert box because that's always good to have. I'll use the regular alert box that's in here. And right now that's, he'll be up in the corner. And if somebody gives me bits or tweets or subscribes while we're talking about this, it will show up right there in that green box, which won't go out on air. You won't see that. That's just so I know how big it is and where it is. So if I choose any particular thing, it allows me to see it. So then we'll add a, let's see, an image source, I suppose. Let's grab an image and just choose something as a background. Yeah, like I'll add this welcome background, and then I can just put it behind everything by dragging it down. So now it's in the background, and now I have a background on here. That's my thing. Now, if I have a green screen, I'll just blend into that. It'll just be a cutout of me. Pretty cool. So that stuff, all that is now in this one scene called New Scene. So if I add the chat, for example, do I want to do that? No, I don't. Well, I suppose that, yeah, I'll add a chat box. This will make it easier. So I'll add the source as a chat box, and we'll move this down here, and I'll extend it up like this, and hopefully, I'm not actually signed in on there, but we'll see if it starts working. But yeah, because I'm using a different chat right now. So in this, all this stuff happens in this screen. You just kind of craft these. Now, I'm doing this from scratch, but you don't have to. There you go. Now it's starting to populate. See, somebody just subscribed, and literally the chat is starting to populate in that right there. So if I just go out live, this is my just chatting window. This is me talking to my chat while the alert box goes off. And then I can have the chat up. Now, having your chat up all the time is dangerous because if it's not properly moderated and there's not kind of a delay, awfulness can happen. So I do it very rarely. But in this case, for an example, it's very small, and so it's not that big a deal. And again, like every other thing, you can use the option key to like shrink it down and that kind of stuff, and you can bring it in here and then bring this in and whatever. There you go. So it's pretty cool in that regard. It like allows you to create all these scenes. And then from these scenes, you create a collection of 4 or 5 of them that are just the scenes you use every day. And then one of them can be like doing your commercials. So you have one, you've got guests on and stuff. You just switch to, instead of just a shot of you switch to your commercials one, and each one has a graphic of the product and the code. So like right there, you just make one. And then every day when you're talking about like, hey, Manscaped, you hit the Manscaped scene button. It goes to a shot of just you, all the details and the promo code while you're doing the spot, and everybody can read it and see it. So they don't have to just go, what did he say? The promo code, you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
You know? Pretty cool. You can also, in this case, and this is pretty sweet and why it's one of my favorite things.
Now, again, are you building this on the Restream thing, or is this all being done
slobs?
It is.
It's all slobs.
Okay.
Yep. This is what you're seeing is the window you're seeing is slobs, you know, even though it's jagged because of how much it wants to show. I had to make it jagged so you could see the front window of what was happening. It was only showing the interior window of it. For whatever reason. But in this case, what's a good example of so there's even within this what's Manscaped? Is that the name of the company?
Yeah, but now it's Blue Chew.
Right. Okay, so Blue Chew, I don't know. Hold on. I'm doing the train spelling.
If you don't know what Blue Chew is, Hal.
Well, you told me what it was. So in this, what do you mean as if? Let's see, placement, single, there you go. And then fade in left. And like I have, in this case, I'm using like, let's see, HTML, CS, enable custom code like that. Okay. You just take in the graphic of you get a banner from your
advertising company,
you know, from the advertising company with your PNG with the logo, your graphic, whatever, and then you load it into here, and what happens is every time somebody, you know, you want to trigger it, this thing will come in and just kind of do it as a rotate. It'll just come up on its own, or you just have them give you a graphic and make it, like I said, way easier. Just make a page like this with the whole side right here being the, you know, promo code, the name of the thing, website, all that kind of stuff, and just say clickable links in the below. And that's a way easier way of selling it to everybody, I think. Anyways, so in here they literally have running like sponsor banners. I don't have any, so it's empty right now. But if you had one, you put it in here. So that's your commercial
overlays. It's just all it's just all overlays.
You just create a stack, and some stacks are really basic. A background, you and your guest cut out, that's it. And then some ones are, you know, you've got 10 or 12 things going on. You know what I mean? Because you're doing an ad and you want to blink something, and, you know, or you're talking to the chat and you want the alert box. Now, I always have the alert box going, even when I'm doing having a guest on, to remind myself. I hear the alert, but I don't have, in their scene, I turn off the alert sound so that they don't have to hear it, so that, you know, it doesn't interrupt the conversation. I just know, oh, pay attention, maybe bring that up in a second when I find a moment between talking, right? And people get to see it.
If I could just say, when I was watching your tutorial and you said, you know, what do you like seeing? You know, what's aesthetically cool for you? For me, it's CNN. You know, I like the little I like the lower third. You know, I like the, you know, I love your little scene changer. I don't know. I mean, that would be awesome.
Yes, that's very personal. Now, if you'll notice, and let me go back, I have to go back to my regular ones that I use. So when I regularly do my show, I built the one that I use regularly. You know, based on that, I'm switching back over to that now. I built this one, you know, to include that part of it, and I had this little transition for those that are wondering. Close shut. That's my logo.
Yeah,
and it's pretty simple to make that kind of stuff. And they just slam shut and do all that. And it's so funny how
right.
Yeah. So this thing wants to. Whoops. Okay, hold on. This thing wants to be a jerk right now. There's the Zoltan hand sign. Right. So in the course of doing this, it's much better if I just show the. Hold on one second. I'm gonna share the actual. Yeah, exactly. If so, yeah, in there, like, when we go to this one, if I hit Z, it'll do that. Wait 1 second, I have to share it. This guy. So that's what you're talking about with you seeing there. But the transition is literally just a mild animation with a transparency behind it that anybody can make you. And my girlfriend's kid, as a birthday gift in After Effects, made me the little closing thing, made it come together and come apart like that with a background that's empty. Which is pretty simple.
What, 10 years old?
No, he's 19. He's in college now. He was 10 when we met, but there you go.
It was younger. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. And he used to be.
Wait. How old is your son?
Mine's 9. Yeah.
That's why.
That's right. Okay. That's right. So, anyways, so this, like, there's lots of these kind of transitions, and making one like this or having one made on Fiverr is super cheap. Like, people will make those kind of simple animations. I added the smoke effect. So I took it into After Effects and I added the puff of smoke when it shuts. Yeah. I like that little transition. That was my addition to it. But I have multiple and I have multiple color versions of it, because while I was at it, I made a red one and a yellow one and all that kind of stuff. I've only been using the blue one just because it looks good and whatever. And I hadn't just I was going to use the red one just for music stuff that I was doing and, kind of spread the love around as far as the color meant something, like color coding it, because that's what they mean in terms of that symbol. The red one is about my music. The blue one's about politics and what we do. And there's a yellow one it's kind of like the overarching one. It's a long story, but I have these, and these aren't hard to make, Yeah,
for you, that's easy for you to say.
Well, no. I mean, for anybody who does that kind of stuff, it is the simplest thing to create.
I know, but I'd have to ask my graphic guy from the Tonight Show to build that for me, and then what? He would send it to me, and then add it to
send you a file. Yeah, and he would send it to you, and you would upload it as a media file into Slobs. So if they look in here, Slobs has, and this is again where I have to show you the screen as opposed to, I don't know why Slobs doesn't want to just give me the screen itself, but let's see, right? Maybe it will if I just go to here.
If it's you and I, should it just be Slob?
Yes, right, singular, right. Yeah, so this qualifies, I see. This qualifies as its own window, which is why it isn't showing up. So when you upload a transition, mine's called the Blue Spark. So you can edit these, meaning the timing of them. You can upload them. You click on add a transition, and it will be like this. You'll see it just says new transition. And then when you say edit, you can name it, how long it takes, what kind, does it fade, wipe, all that kind of stuff. Is there a Luma wipe? And then you go to Stinger. Stingers are what those are called, by the way. If you want somebody to make you a transition for Slobs or any of your software, if you're using Wirecast, anything else, those are called stingers. For whatever reason, that's what they settled on. All transitions, there's different kinds, fade, crossfade, slant. Stingers are what you're going to ask for. I need a stinger transition. So if you do that, then it's going to say, what's the video file? You'll go look for it. I think, I don't have any in here right now. Otherwise, I would go look for them. How long it'll take and all that kind of stuff. Because basically, you have to choose the transmission point. It takes you a little guessing because it's like 3,000 milliseconds for it to go dunk and open up, right? Is how long it's about a 2-second transition, depending. So you'll find the point where it's completely shut, and that will be the transition point, and then it'll open up and you're gone. Because some people create really crazy ones that go up into the screen, explode, and then back off, and you pick a point where it obscures what's in the background or whatever. You can also ask whether to monitor it and output it, meaning if it's got a sound, the sound goes to everybody or just to you. Most of the time I turn the monitor off or monitor only, meaning nobody else hears it but me unless I want something, So, and then that's it. Like, these are stinger transitions. I'll make one for myself later. So I'll just call it noob, and I'll fix that one later because I'll just save myself that space. But right now, this is the, I think, let's see what this one is. So here's one I have in here called White Smoke. And so there's a white version. Hold on, I've got to channel out of this guy. I need to go back to the weird thing about the Restream live studio thing is that you can't switch between what you're showing each time, without having to go start from scratch. See how it's white now? It's like black and white. Sorry, I'm not sharing it yet. There's so many switches to throw. Okay, here we go. This is better. There you go. So this is the white one. See that?
Yeah.
So now instead of the blue spark, it's the white one.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So I made multiple versions of those for when I want them. And I can switch between them anytime I want. But, most of the time, like I said, I use the blue. So I'll go back to that one. Those are all that's available in this. But ultimately, you choose this. You have a scene. You put whatever you want or whatever you don't want, in the scene. You keep it as clean as you possibly could. I have, for example.
How?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm consuming everything that you're saying, and I understand all about overlays and everything
yep.
Just from my experience on the Tonight Show. But now, right. just for me and anybody else who's interested, just basically for me to get started, I already downloaded slobs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I use slobs. Do I put that out to Restream? Would I put that out to StreamYard?
I'm getting to that. That's next.
Okay.
So I'm working my way across the board right here. So we got the scenes together. We know what a scene is. We know what you put in scene, which is anything you want in screen in any of those individual scenes, and you can leave out whatever you don't. Then we go to the mixer of the audio, what's coming in. Usually it's in most cases, it's your microphone. Like in this one, I've got wave mic. You can see right here. If I turn that on, you can see it start to bounce. I run everything through another piece of software, which I talked about in my stream. I use Loopback to get audio where I want it to go. And then I have a theme song that plays, for example, in my stream starting that you can see playing. So I know it's running and it's set on loop. So it'll play as long as I want. So even though I run out of time in this, it'll cycle back through if I'm hanging up and I got to do something else or whatever. Then I've got, in here, I've got, promo noises, blah, 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 things that come in here. Like there's a countdown. Like if I show an ad in one of these things, it will play a song. The stream start has its own, but this is basically a mixer. You get this part. Like you can turn down and turn up most of the audio.
Yeah.
The next part is, and I got to see real quick. Hold on one second. Let me switch back to us and turn this guy off. Make sure that I'm not showing anybody the inner workings of my stuff, because that's the other thing, is that in the settings, the stream goes out. I'll show you this real quick. Yeah, here we go. I have to switch I'm gonna stop the screen share, start again. And what you do in the case of is it settings? It's settings. There we go. In this, making sure again, I'm not showing anybody my stuff. That's always the hard part when you're screen sharing things, So here,
okay, good.
You know what I mean? Your login, stuff like that. You want to be careful. So right now, I stream to, I have it set up to stream to Twitch by itself, mainly just for the alerts and to Restream. See this down here? So I have a Restream, and Restream uses the same. Yeah, it's the bottom rung. So there's Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Restream. Now, right now, I'm not streaming to all these in here. I just use the Restream one. So when I go live, the only one I have checked when I go live is Restream. Okay. So it goes out to Restream and then bounces everywhere else. It goes to these three sites and Periscope.
So then Restream will bounce it to everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. So I basically, out of slobs, I just stream to Restream, one site. And that stops it from taxing my computer. Now, in this case, Streamlabs theoretically does multiple destinations. At the level, I have Streamlabs Pro. I upgraded to that because I wanted all the features. In that, it will do this. Now, I don't know and have not been willing to test since Restream works pretty well, whether or not when I choose to do all these, it bounces it to Streamlabs, and then Streamlabs bounces it out to these other sites. Because if it doesn't, my computer has to process a video signal for 4 different sites, which is a guaranteed crash.
I can't do that. But Hal, hold on. So I have slobs right now. If I choose, I can take slobs and put it out through StreamYard. But But you would suggest that I would do Restream because it's better than StreamYard?
Yes, on a lot of fronts. I mean, if you just look at it graphically, what we're doing today,
Yeah.
just you and me talking with this stuff, but like quality wise, it's equal to or better than I think you're getting at StreamYard as far as the availability of stuff. And it allows you, if you want to, for example, like put over a logo or put the chat on the screen, that kind of stuff. It has these baseline things available to you. That movie that you have that you use to start your stream,
Yeah.
you can put up, you can add to this, and then hold on for 1 second. I'm going to put up a video. You see that like count?
Yeah.
That mutes that. You do something like that. You can add your own. They have a bunch available, but you can add your own, and then you can start your show with that, and then it will automatically fade out at the end of it into you on screen. You don't have to trigger anything, turn anything off, turn anything on. Nobody has to do anything.
Which is much more natural than the way I'm doing it because I'm just hitting stop. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just much easier. So, and then in the course of, let's say you're showing this kind of thing, you're screen sharing, there's all kinds of variant ways of doing it visually that are actually pretty pleasant. They have the cinema version. This is the thumbnail version, which is, if you have 4, you can have up to 10 guests. So you could all watch a video together and do Mystery Science Theater 3000 in here, essentially.
Okay.
They also have a blocked out version, which is a little like, better look as far as this stuff. You know what I mean? Gives you more of a frame, or you can go full cover screen like this. It also, titles both of us just like StreamYard does. It does all that stuff. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, it says how many people are watching on the individual stations like that. If I roll over it, I can see there's 114 people in Facebook, 125 on YouTube, 14 on Periscope, and 80 on Twitch right now.
How do you see that? All I see is a 332.
Right. I roll my cursor over top of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I can also let's see, close this. Doink. There's a lot of options internally of what they're capable of doing as far as this kind of screen stuff. It's pretty great. So that said, it's for what you do with StreamYard, this might be a better looking and more flexible view of what you're doing, just because I think they're a little, it's just a little low rung as far as the quality right now as a step. But the nice thing is that if I wanted to, I can make Streamlabs a camera. There's an output on here. I'll show you that next. That let's say I make, and this is kind of the key part of it, is that I can make, let's show you this real quick. Turn off that, turn this back on. And then I'm going to, it's just called the settings window. So let me show you this right here. Make sure nothing's showing that I don't want to show. Okay, there we go. And then right here, within the setup, in the settings of there, they have a thing called virtual webcam in slobs. So that putting the picture of your Venmo, your overlays, all that kind of stuff can show up in your screenshot, and you can make 2 versions of that. One is one that when it's that all the stuff is spread out over a big screen, so when it's just you on screen and all we're seeing is you, it will have all your gear and everything like that. But when you're split like this, you can have a smaller version in slobs that puts so your Venmo doesn't disappear. So all your stuff gets, you know what I mean? So that's the most.
Do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you would switch scenes, or you would have a version in slobs. You'd go, okay, now I'm going to my guest cam, and you would switch that, and then it would, once you popped it over, it would go to that. It's kind of a 2-step process, but. And
Hal, let me just apologize first. If I interrupt you, it's only because I don't want to forget the question I have. So
don't worry about it.
All right.
No, we're going through this overall anyways. And by the way, we haven't even gotten to asking people in the chat, what's up? And I I have to say, for the record, I don't think, is there a chat overlay available? Too nerdy. I understand. Is there in StreamYard, is there a chat overlay like this, like what you're seeing right now?
I see the chats as they're going on. I mean,
no. I mean, right now, what I have going out is, let's see, on air currently is the chat. People are right now live are seeing the chat next to me. Do you see that on the screen? The purple, yeah. So I don't think StreamYards has that availability.
No, and it pisses me off because the guests can't see some of the questions and can't see how loved they are,
Well, here you go. This is yet another reason why you can do this. Let me show you real quick. I'll turn off the chat right here, and then I'll show you something that's in here. Is that, let's say, this one applies. Here you go. Rockin' Mom says, "Poor John looks so confused."
I'm this is called learning.
Thank you, Ellie. Yeah, no. I mean, that's what we're doing. Ellie Montoya says, "Hal displaying pure class as per usual." Thank you very much. So all these in these situations, you can show all these.
I can do that on
pieces.
I can do that on StreamYard. I mean, and I have, like, if someone super chats, I put it on the screen.
Right. Yeah. So that's super helpful. Yeah. Yes. No. The trust. No. Not everybody is super trustworthy in the chat. That's true. So Slobs. Right. What Slobs gives you is that whenever you're doing your show and you've got your, hi, little John. It's little John.
You have cats. How the hell do I keep the cat hair off this freaking mic fucking thing?
Oh, well, first of all, it's impossible. I'm just saying, for the record, it is impossible. Yeah, no, it's just, you were just Little John for a second, so I was like, what? Anyway. So this is what I would recommend, and this is not a sales thing for Restream. It's just something that I've used for a while and I really do like. And I'm always amazed when, I get invited on StreamYard shows and I'm like, you guys are missing out as far as just the quality of what it looks like and what's available to your, chat and to other people. And they're blossoming this quite a bit. So you can change the style of the graphics, for example, and you can change the color of them if you want, so that they all have this, kind of look to them if you want, like that business.
Yeah.
It's just kind of nice to be able to do that, in general. Green is really awful. I was just trying to show off and it was just hideous. So I like the red better. So there are all kinds of available stuff that are just available in this, including putting our names on screen, and you can turn that on and off if you want to. You can affect other people's names instead of them entering it like they do in StreamYard. You can change what their name says, which is an immense amount of control. I'm just saying. So, and then you can also make overlays in here, but these overlays are just visual. They're just like, they have a Restream graphic up in the corner. See that? That just comes up. You can put in PNG files that are 1920 by 1080, and then they will show up on the screen where they're supposed to show up. That still doesn't do the browser stuff, which is ultimately why Slobs or Ecamm is got to be your primary source getting into this or StreamYard. That's why I'm sold on building your scenes in StreamYard over time and then using those to go into Restream.
Oh, you mean you mean Streamlab? You mean?
Streamlabs. No, either you're using StreamYard or Restream to get your stuff out to the rest of the channels is what I mean. So, but using Slobs as your software or Ecamm as your software, something that allows you to do browser overlays is incredibly important. The day Restream allows like browser overlays, like all bets are off. Like, forget about it. At a certain point, if you could just set up what's, Streamlabs overlays like the things that let me know I've got a subscriber and the status bar and that kind of stuff. If they were allowed me to upload those things and they'd feed in there, you could run a whole show from in there. This is crazy because it looks really, it looks
right. And then you just do it all on Restream.
That's right. But right now you can't. And that's why I'm trying to get you to the point where you set up slobs for yourself, start getting some scenes you like that work when you're talking to yourself and to other people that allow you to do the scene that, you want for you until you're just going direct through Restream and out. You still use StreamYard if you want and to punt your stuff to other sources. But at least you'll start having those overlays. The next class we're going to have, because we're almost at the end of the hour, and I feel like we've gone through a lot of stuff today. We really have. Yeah. The next class, I want you to hop on with me maybe next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday, John. And what we'll do is, and you and I will probably actually.
Are you talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Hello. So the next thing I want to talk to you is about browser overlays, those like setting those up, because they can, on the one hand, let me make sure I'm not showing you guys anything I don't want to show real quick, because I'll let you have a peek at it. I think we're okay. If I choose Chrome, is it Chrome or is it, it's 5? I see. No, hold on one second. I have to pick which is this. Safari? Yes, it is. Okay, good. I just have to pick the right screen before I'm showing you guys the stuff that's in there. But yeah, there it is. So it's this actual page. Here we go. Let's see. Allow. Here we go. And then when I show you this, it's gonna thank God it blocks this. It makes this available. So this is the inside of Streamlabs, and it has all this stuff in it. And this is just the alert box, for example, right? Yeah. So the alert box is the thing that when I, you can test the follow and it makes that noise and, tells me I have a subscriber or all that stuff I was showing you before. You can make these and then you can test them to see what they look like when you're not online. So you go, oh, okay, I like how this looks or whatever. I'll make the Zoltan hands. Do stuff,
wait, whatever. But that's all white and Streamlabs is all black.
Well, that's because see over where it says click to show widget URL, which I'm not going to do underneath all the checks.
Okay.
There is it's blurred out. If you copy that, you paste that into your software, either Slobs or Ecamm or whatever you're using, and that will that's the transparent overlay of the alert box. That's the link for it. And then you put that in there and it will do all the stuff you teach it to do. The cool thing is that you can look through. If you go up to like things like manage themes, it will open a box of stuff in here, which is pretty nuts. If it takes a moment, there we go. And you can create your own widget theme, or you can use ones that you've downloaded, or you can just like get some. You can go, there's plenty of available widgets that and they call them widgets. They call the Stream Essentials and stuff, the alert box and all that stuff, they call them widgets. But let's say here you go. So if you go to Streamlabs and you sign up for it, this is where you download all the stuff that goes automatically into Slobs. This is the best part about using Slobs as opposed to just OBS, because you'd have to download these and then upload them into the software, tweak them and stuff. You can do all this within Streamlabs OBS. You can pick a style like this one. This is pretty cool. And when you download it into Slobs, you'll get this transition and the pages that go with it, and then all these like frames. See this frame right here? It doesn't move. It's just kind of subtle. I use that frame that's available for to outline my stuff in Slobs. That's the only part I use of this particular one. I just downloaded this one. I just got that outline of a box and I liked it. It was subtle. It looks like the news to me. It's not overwhelming. It doesn't flash all the time. And I just grabbed that. And so there's all these like stream starting. My stream is offline. You can just have that be your screen that you upload on Twitch when you're not on.
Well, where do I get those from?
Well, in Slobs, so I did that, and that's just the Safari page. In Slobs, and now I know how I can show these things to you without it freaking out or whatever. There is a window. Hold on. And I think it actually, and again, I've always got to check and make sure I'm not showing you guys, my logins, because this is all my personal software that I'm using right now. But yeah. So if you go, let's say, okay, here we go. I'm going to go to, here I am in Streamlabs, okay? Up in the upper left-hand corner, and this comes with Slobs, this is built in. You can add more stuff later, but at the very root, one of the reasons to have it is this little thing right here. There's a little button up in the upper left-hand corner, the little double layer boxes. Inside that is alert box libraries, and you can just download for free any of the alert boxes in here that you like.
Okay. All right.
For the time being, until you get your own built, you can just find a style you like, and there are dozens of them. And they're all, a lot of them are categorized. There you go. Use the Kraken. That works for you, right? Upper left-hand corner. So there's tons of them, that are very gamey, but some of them are kind of retro, and I love the 80s, which is why I like them. There's some that are super simple and clean, one that just lets people know that people donated, that kind of thing. Portals is nice. You can just pick one of these and go, okay, I'm going to use this widget until I either design my own or I find one that I like that's better. But you download them, they're free, they're in there. And you can change the color of, you can pick, like, I'm going to look at ones that are blue. My whole stream is orange, so I wanted them all to be in that. It's nutty how this stuff of being available. You saw people at the Tonight Show making transitions and overlays. You know how much work they put into it, how expensive it is?
Yes.
That's free in Slobs. That's what I was saying about the other day. Use the free shit first. It's amazing how much free stuff there is. So yes, it's a little, awkward to tweak for a while, but once you get the hang of it, you're just like, oh yeah, I'll just download this. That's cool. I'll use that for a little while. It's fun. You switch them around. You download a new one. You have, once you download it, you have a little list. You can choose between which one you're using every day if you want to, if you're just bored. But and in this, there's all kinds of other apps that you can add where you can literally, like in here, this is the Slobs store, but because you subscribe to Slobs, you have access to all these frames, shapes, overlays, backgrounds, and all that stuff for free. And a lot of them are just very normal. You know what I mean? They're just like, okay, there's your starting screen, there's your ending screen. This is your overlay. With this comes a starting, ending, be right back, all that. I mean, it's all in these things. So you just find one that you aesthetically like, and then you can modify them most of the time. You can put your own name over top of it. You can make your own PNG graphic and pop it over top of it. It looks great, So in a lot of these, that's been fantastic. And so there is and then within there are all these widget things that you can get that are also available, where you can play music behind your stuff, but it's all royalty free, so you won't get in trouble, at least on Twitch. There's like the overlay maker, which is one of the ones that I use. There's just all these resources available. Meme board, if you see it over to the top right-hand corner,
yeah,
that's the one I use to make the Zoltan thing happen, or do like I have the X-Files thing with the Illuminati logo come up or whatever. I loaded in the Zoltan widget and made it myself. So I just uploaded a picture, said I want it to spin in slightly and appear or fade in, and then I assigned a key to it and a noise, and it happens. So anytime I want to do that, I just hit Z and it does it. So it's none of this. What I'm ultimately wanting to share with you, and what I want to share with everybody else, is, yes, it's a little complicated. Yes, you can get into the deep reads, and yes, it can be, infuriating when you're trying to tweak some of these things. But the available resources for basically nothing for streamers right now is incredible. It is ridiculous. I mean, television studios don't have this stuff. Yes, John.
Yes, Professor. Let me ask you. Yeah, right. Columbo. Let me ask you one more question.
Right.
So like, I'm gonna get a camera. Just one more thing. So I have to buy a camera now.
Yeah.
If I have the computer against the wall, right? And then I'm over here, and I'll put like a little table here. So then I have a mouse, have a keyboard over here, and then I'm working all of this here. I could have my other laptop here.
Yeah. Even better. And this, I've touched on this in the last one. But even better than having a mouse available for this, and this is how I do most of my queuing when I'm doing my show, is I use the Stream Deck, the Elgato Stream Deck. And it's
the thing that I saw on your thing. Yeah. And that's with all the buttons.
Yes, exactly. That thing is unbelievably easy to create, setup for yourself. Hold on, let me do this real quick. There you go. I'm going to go allow, then go to here. This thing, the Stream Deck, this little guy.
Yeah.
That thing is bitching.
And what for you now?
Okay, I have it set up right now. The thing I use the most on it is I have it set up to have 4 buttons across the top. One says start, one says me, one says com, and the other says end. Those are my screens. So I can put my hand on it when I'm ending the show, and just by feel, I know that I'm going to the ending screen. And then I can pop up, that in Slobs, it's set to 4 different scenes, set to 4 different buttons. So I can literally trigger those with a touch of a button, right? So you can set up, for example, your guest on, if you're in StreamYard and you've got your little screen right here and you're going to switch over, I'm bringing my guest on or whatever. You click on there, you hit one button on your Stream Deck and it changes your scene to fit the window like it's supposed to. You know what I mean? You could set that, and you can set a multi-tiered button that is queued to allowing your guest on in StreamYard and at the same time triggering your scene in Slobs. You understand? So they can do these multi-action buttons. So you can change some of the streamer dudes do some stuff that is just magnificent with it, where they hit something and like the Zoltan thing would come up and all the lights in their room turn yellow for a second, that kind of stuff. Or they're, it just sets their screen on fire and they, put on a Snapchat mask and make themselves look like an old man. It's available. It's really just up to your imagination what it does. It also allows me to clear my tip jar. I have a button that I can empty the tip jar if I push it, if it gets full. And I have a clip mark button, which I set up on it in a Twitch rather, where if I tap that, it sets a marker in my stream while I was doing it live. So later on, when I want to clip from that, if I want to remember that moment, and instead of having to go through the keystrokes to go, oh wait, let me grab that for later. During my stream, I just hit that mark. It'll leave a marker there. And then I go into Twitch later, and in Twitch Video Producer, I can see the stream marks I made and know, okay, I want a clip of that's about a minute long on either side of that because I thought that piece was good or whatever. And then there's another one that clips one that automatically makes a 1 minute or a 30-second clip of what happened. So a lot of gamers use that. Like they just had a great thing and if they killed somebody or won something in Call of Duty, if they hit clip, it'll clip the last 30 seconds in the next 30 seconds.
So how much is the Stream Deck?
It's let's see, we'll shop now. It is currently the Stream Deck is $149. That's the small one, the medium-sized one rather. It's $149. There's a Stream Deck XL. Let's see if they got the number of them in here. So they've got the XL, the regular Stream Deck, the Mini, and then you can use your phone in the software or whatever. You can actually, if you download the app, you can actually do it on your phone. It's a pain in the ass, though. I've tried it before because I was like, I'll do that on the road. I won't have to bring mine with me. But for your purposes, the regular Stream Deck is great. You may even, like, having the Mini might be the simplicity you need because it's only 6 buttons.
I'm not going to need, Well, I mean, look, I like your tip jar. I like the Venmo thing. I mean, all that I'm going to put up.
Yes.
What
Yep. And you'll
to LA.
When am I coming to LA? On the 7th, I believe, but only if it's safe, and that depends on whether or not I'm doing my Flapper show live. So, we can do another in-person tech experience. But I've gone like I wanted this to be an hour, so we're over time at this point. But I do want to thank everybody who did join us today. I know this isn't the regular stream and not what you usually tune in for, but I also wanted to start helping people who are getting into this part of it and bring them a little bit closer to their goal of actually, doing what you're doing, what I'm doing, at whatever level they want to do it. If that's part of something they want to try, then by all means, this is one of the ways to do it. So,
and I appreciate it. I mean, I have a freaking congressman coming on tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'd like to make the show look better. I mean, God knows I have quality guests every day,
Yeah, I know. That's honest to God. That's what I want. That's what I'm saying is that if you're going to have quality guests, you should have a quality stream. At some point, it's got to level up. And that's what I'm, hoping to get you at, if I'm leveling up my stream and I don't even have guests, I do that just for my own ego and aesthetic. It's a Libra thing, I guess.
Yeah.
And Chris on Facebook says this was awesome. Glad to you could be here for it. And then Nathan says, thank you for having us. Learned a lot. Keep this up so I can watch the first. Excellent. Lizard where missed that one. Lizard vid. Yeah, absolutely. So this is we have, and there's the ad for it, the 7th of February, 7 p.m. Pacific time. I'll be at Flappers, and you can see how I can bring up that, in the chat really easily. And it's just a great addition. Like, this is why I would do restreams setup over StreamYard. Okay. Like, just because of the quality aesthetic that's available. And in the backgrounds, by the way, there's a whole graphics tab in here where you can change the background of whatever you're seeing to this kind of stuff. Or you can just add your own in case you're doing a yoga class. You're selling cannabis or sound waves. I don't know what that is. But in all these, you can put in your own background image for these kind of things, and it just aesthetically looks nicer for your guests. It just does. You know what I mean? And then, there's nothing more bare bones than this. Doesn't hurt anything at all. It's really good. Yeah. And then again, when you're sharing the screen, it's just aesthetically, it's just a little bit nicer. Quality. Yeah.
But how? So you're not only using the Stream Deck, are you also using your mouse?
Yeah, for this, because like for today, I'm using my mouse because I'm just showing you the other stuff. When I do my regular show, I don't click through my scenes at all. I literally only use the Stream Deck for that. And I have a play pause button so that when I have a like a YouTube video, for example, let me see if I can.
But does that work automatically as soon as it's triggered by when someone gives you a donation?
Yeah, all that stuff, yeah, is automatic. So let's see. Hold on one second.
How much is Restream a month?
Let's see. I don't. Honestly, it's. Hold on. Let me. I'm bringing up something real quick. Let's see. I'll go to. Yeah, let's go to the 28th. That'll be a good one. Whatever. I think really. So in here, like, let's say for all practical purposes, like, I'm just, making fun of some clown and his guests on some show, and I'm playing, their clips of their show.
Don't look so bad.
And then it's fine. I mean, it's for being. You can hear the audio from that, right? Can you not? Yes.
No.
Or not? Okay, so I think I've got that turned off temporarily. I think in the settings of this, because I think it only does it visually in here. Normally in my own show, but I am starting and stopping the video. By the way,
Yeah.
what's playing? I'm playing that and stopping it with my Stream Deck button, not with my mouse.
Okay.
Not going up and and using my mouse to click on the play pause button, which is you can see kind of that's my mouse moving around right there. Would be a pain in the ass. So I'm just saying, like the Stream Deck, the availability, if you're sitting a little further back and you're, aesthetically creating something, having the Stream Deck just right over here, just next to your right hand, allows you to trigger most of the stuff you're going to need for your show, especially if it's the same every day, will be just triggered buttons like that. And then you can focus on the show, because that's what I really came to. So anyways, we'll learn more about that.
On your tutorial from the other day, you said if you had an old keyboard, which I do, would that be in place of the Stream Deck?
No, because the Stream Deck is the next level. I'm just saying anything you have laying around. If I was really talking to people who don't have the means and wherewithal like you do to start a show with some stuff on it, you know what I mean? To like go buy a Stream Deck. If you can't afford a Stream Deck or a better camera or whatever, use what's laying around. I'd rather see a show with two old webcams than one great one if you can't afford it. You know what I mean? If you got a medium level webcam on your laptop, there's no reason why you wouldn't set up another webcam right over here and just cut between the two yourself, doing two shots. Just do it like a TV show. Just go camera one, and then I was thinking this, and then hit the other one and go, and then I was thinking this. Do your own, camera one, camera two, just to give it a little more variety and make it look a little better for who's watching. You understand?
I get it. Yeah, I totally get it.
So so that's what I was talking about. So the Stream Deck, though, I would get the medium size one for you, because it just can.
Everyone's obsessed with my freaking
Mike. They're worried about you choking on cat hair. They don't want you to get a hairball.
How many cats you got, Hal?
We've got currently, four.
Yeah, I have 3, and they're freaking hairy bastards. Their hair goes.
They are. Yes, it's murder. Yeah. Absolutely. And then, like they come up and want pets, and then you've just tufts of hair. And then when they're done shedding, they're like, stop touching me. What are you doing? Like all of a sudden they're like, what the hell? Like, I know. You asked me to.
2 of my cats have a clumping problem. Do you know what that is, Hal?
They're Rastafarians.
Yep. How the hell? That's the exact thing I was going to say next.
That's right. They got dreadlocks. Yeah, that's right. It's why. And see, I can't do my Zoltan effect because I'm not set up in Restream to use the camera, because today I was setting this up just so I could show you the software. If I wasn't showing you the software, I would pump it through. And I didn't want to create a loop and kill myself. But that's one of the things that is missing for me just using Restream as it stands, right? Using their live studio. And it's like, I want to call them up and go, guys, here's what you need, and then you're all done. Dead serious. One is browser overlays run straight out of Streamlabs. And then the ability to talk over audio videos. Once that happens, you're done, son. Welcome to the TV show. And then Restream needs to get a deal with DirecTV or Comcast or something to have, Restream TV, so you can just have that be one of your outlets. You can automatically output to our television station, and people can choose you in their digital television setup. My next goal, and it's a crazy one, is to get a YouTube TV channel. So, but that's a lot of programming. That's a lot of.
Hal, just asked, which is a good question. How the hell do you always wear black shirts and not have any cat hair on it if you have all these cats?
Oh, I do have cat hair all over me. It's just the contrast is set so high on my camera so that I'm cut out of my green screen that you can't see it. My hair is brown, okay? My hair is it's not light brown, but it's dark brown, but it's brown. It looks jet black on the show because I had to crank up the contrast so that it cuts me out on the, give it a better quality. So that's why. And so I do have, and it's, by the way, it's all over the back. Like I put this shirt on this morning, to kind of what's up, Twitch? But I put this shirt on this morning to kind of okay, if I'm going to be teaching this stuff, or giving classes in it, I should represent. I have a Streamlab shirt. I'll wear that one next time because we're going to be talking about alert boxes and all that stuff. But that'll be next Tuesday. If you want to hop on with me, we'll go through and that one we'll set it up because I've yet to, and I have to look at it on my end. I have to do an off the air test because this is my first time using the Live Studio Pro in Restream to have a guest and do stuff. And it's pretty smooth. It sounds great, looks great. It's easy to operate. I like it. The only difference is, do you have a screen share button below you? What do you see below your screen on your end?
You mean right now?
Yeah.
I see the private chat thing. I see a red, what looks like a YouTube thing. I mean, I only see you. You and I are only a small part of my screen right now.
Right. What I mean is, are there any icons below your thing next to the microphone and camera share thing? Like you've got a microphone mute, right? And you've got a camera button.
Yeah.
Then what?
Then I have like a settings icon.
Do you have a screen share button?
No, I don't think so. No.
It would be right next to the camera.
I do.
Great. Okay. So you do have a screen share on this from your end. And you also probably have a play a local video thing that you might be able to play or push, whatever, as well. So you're able to do that. So at some point, what we'll do is next Tuesday, and we'll make sure that none of your settings are showing before we try this. Next Tuesday, we'll hop on and I'll walk you through how to set some of this stuff up.
All right.
We'll do what I do need from you before then is send me a copy of your logo.
Yeah, that's not going to be easy to get, but I will do. I'll try and find it. It was made by my old producers.
Okay. Well, because what I can do is I'm going to make a PNG of it for you.
Okay.
I'm going to cut it out, and then you can use it as an overlay logo. And you'll also send me your Venmo picture. You'll open your Venmo on your phone, choose your little icon. That shows you what, like if you showed somebody that they were going to pay you using your phone, that little QR code, you're going to take a screenshot of that or download it onto your phone. And you're going to send it to me. I'm going to cut it down into a smaller picture, and I'm going to give you both those things. And then we're going to pop those into the overlays between now and then.
Look,
so that'll help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. People are saying not a chance John remembers any of this. No,
I'll remind him. Come on.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I retain a lot of information. I mean, trust me.
Well,
I could read somebody's Wikipedia and then come on the air and have them as a guest, and I remember almost every single detail in their Wikipedia as I'm doing the show. It even amazes me.
Memory is just about caring. That's all it is. That's all memory is giving a shit.
Yep.
As long as you care about that information, you'll retain it. If you don't have a good reason, you'll forget it. And that's the same thing. Like the nice thing about this is anybody who came in the middle or doesn't understand what the hell I'm talking about, I'm gonna create a playlist on my YouTube channel and on my Twitch so that you can go and look at just these little educational videos, and they'll be like little webinars.
Yeah.
And then I'll, post this because I just want to, I know a lot of people wonder about this stuff, and I gotta say the primary motivator for me to do this, both with you, for you, and on my own with that other stream the other day, was the number of guests that I see on MSNBC and CNN and other news programs, and their camera looks like crap, their audio sounds like crap. They're on billion-dollar companies own these channels, and they look like garbage. What the hell is going on? So to all my MSNBC compatriots and whatnot, at least get yourself a Sony a6000, a cam length, plug it into your computer, for crying out loud. Get a decent lav mic and some earbuds that don't show up. Don't wear your AirPods on TV. Here's a good one. Get a pair of actual plug-in ones and an extension cable for your headphones, old school, just a an
But
extender.
Hal Vitor.
Run them down your back.
My freaking earlobes are not designed like normal people's, and those earbuds never fit in. They fall out of my ears every single time.
You gotta hunt them down. So I have the same problem. Look, my ear, like every other human, my ear canals are different shapes. They're not the same size. That's why the problem is it's always one. To me, it's always the left one. The left one always comes loose.
I can never go jogging, wearing those Apple, things they give you every time you get a computer. It
Right.
could fall right out. Drive me nuts.
Well, that's why they made the AirPods, the Pro. That's why they made them, because they've got the soft tissue thing that sticks in your ear a little bit and stays there. I'm saying that I'm using these Samsungs that I got because they're Bluetooth. What are they? They're called? They're the Galaxy something. Hold on. The Galaxy, what the heck are these called? I just got them. They're not a big deal. The Galaxy Buds Live. And the reason I got the Galaxy Buds Live as a replacement, as a backup, was because they have a charging case that they can sit in, and it uses a USB-C cable, so it can plug into most of the plugs that go to all my modern stuff. And they're relatively invisible. So, I mean, under my hair, almost everything is, but they're not like white and looks like I'm wearing hoop earrings, which there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, but I have gone through, I have these JLabs, see these guys, which loop around the back of your ear. Yeah. If you have problems, that's what I recommend. Get the sports kind that loop around the back of your ear. Are they a little more of a pain in the ass to put on? Yes, but they won't fall off and you won't fidget with them while while you're messing around.
All right, so I'm gonna have to put some things to get.
Yes, that's right. So that's it for today, though. We'll wrap it up for today.
Well, instead of Tuesday, because I do my show on Tuesday at noon and I go for a hike in the morning. Can we do Wednesday?
Yeah, let's do it Wednesday. Wednesday morning it is. That'll be class day. It'll be hump days with Hal again. But it's school this time, and we will find a way we'll set it up ahead of time a little bit so that we can see you can see parts of your screen without giving away your passwords and that kind of stuff. I'll make sure that that's taken care of, because that's my only concern when you're doing that kind of stuff. Because unlike these like companies that do like demos of software, they're like, we took a completely empty computer and filled it with this. I'm logging in for the first time, like with a made up email. It's just a pain in the butt. So none of it. You and I are working men. This is blue collar digital, the blue collar digital world. So, but when I do this, we'll do, Wednesday, the next one will be the overlays part of it, like how those work, which ones are necessary, and how to make one. And I'll give you those graphics, and then I'll show you how to upload them in there as we talk. Right. And make your overlays so that when you get a super chat or something, it'll make it it can say Stuttering John, it'll have your logo, and the logo will turn a little bit or sparkle. We'll figure it out. It's not that hard. It gives you a lot of options. And then it'll just, pop up there, let you know, and then go away after a certain amount of time so that you don't miss anybody and people get recognized. Because it's a cool thing for your chat. It's for the people who support you. It's a lovely thing, and all that. So,
Hal, just last night, I did just buy a brand new MacBook Pro. That should suffice for all that we're going to do, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
It will absolutely do it all. You do not have to worry about it. It's fantastic. It will work perfectly. And we will have, I'll set it up so that if you have the camera by then, we'll walk through that part of it as well, like the plug-in.
That's so funny. I even get haters in your chat. I get trolls. It's amazing. No matter where I go,
they just follow you around.
Yeah.
Well, if I was you, I would take it personally.
It's so sick.
It's not your fault that I'm beloved. But I'm glad you could. I'm dead serious. I'm glad you could come on with me. I'm glad we can kind of build on this a little bit. I am now committed to, over the next couple of months, as we kind of expand what it means to, digitally explore this realm, that if there's not going to be like liberal talk on, on AM radio or something, then at the very least, what I can do is, in my own like Air America way of, pushing things, get everybody's their stream, what they're putting out, up to a level where they can compete with nearly everybody. Because the reality is right now that if people are watching this stream as we're putting it out, but for the fact that we're just sitting in our rooms talking and we really didn't turn the lights on to gussy it up at all because we're not on MSNBC or CNN or what have you, we absolutely could be. This is going out at a quality equal to the digital quality that most people are watching television these days. Yeah. And if we can keep it at that level and add on top of it things like recognition of our super chats and people who follow and support and subscribe and give you thumbs up so that they know we care more so than somebody who just has their show on and then, I'll mention it later if I feel like it. Or when people become Patreon subscribers and that kind of stuff, that's a really nice thing for you to know at the time. That if I can help you get there, and then we can help other people who stream like that get there as well.
You help me with technology, you could help anybody, Hal.
That's right, absolutely. You're the canary in the coal mine that's smoking.
I'm not a technically savvy. No. Hal, last thing, right now. So this is my problem with Apple. So I bought this brand new computer. It has two freaking like inputs,
USB-C ports on it, right?
Only two. Like, and then with all this stuff, like the switch thing, that everything that I'm gonna need, I'm gonna have to get one of those that thing that you that you plug in that has So I gotta get.
You're gonna need a break. Yeah, but that's because you're using it as a desktop computer. Having two ports on it are plenty if you're using it as a laptop, but the laptop's so powerful, you're using it in lieu of a screen, essentially. So that's why it only has those ports on it. And I already told you the box you need to get, right? I already showed you that thing. That's the one. It'll take some of the heat off. You can run another monitor off of it. As you expand, it'll go with it. You can plug your Ethernet directly into it. It will replace all the little boxes. That's just the way to go. So
what's the name of it?
Lizard Vid is saying this is great. Like this is so true too. Hold on one second. Here it is. Lizard Vid is saying OAN looks like a bad 80s movie version of what TV would look like in 2021. Exactly. And the fact that they're qualifying as a network themselves. Do you understand? Like that's so easy to do. So why not? If you have at your fingertips using Slobs or Ecamm to go into Restream or StreamYard to produce a show that looks equal to or greater than regular broadcast television, then if you're going to do it professionally, you have a responsibility to do so. That's all I'm saying. And if I can help people start to understand all those available tools, that's what I want to do. That's all. I just want it to be awesome. So when people tune in, then they can go, I like or don't like the content. It's really sad though when people with great content look and sound like crap. So that's what I'm trying to fix. Your show looks and it is fine. There's nothing wrong with your show. It's just there's a glass ceiling on what you can do with where you are as far as using StreamYard and the way you do the show. It can't go any higher unless StreamYard decides to let you. And that's the part that, we got to fix. So there you go.
And then what's the name of that thing I should get, that plug-in, so I can plug in a bunch of things into the Mac?
I have the physical one sitting around here, right? Where are you? I just set it aside, didn't I? Oh my gosh. I'll send it to you. It's because I actually am using currently two computers split out. So I moved that guy into the other room to do my my gamer stream, which I'm setting up in the other space. That's a whole other situation as well. So I'm setting up a situation where I can game in my living room using my laptop and that little breakout box and a camera, so that I don't game in my workspace is basically what I'm trying to do, and make it more like a hangout when I finally launch that. So that's what I've been building while I've been doing my show intermittently. So I'll send you the link.
All right.
And we'll talk. So between when people see us next time for this thing, next Wednesday, around the same time, because you go to the gym in the morning, right?
Yeah. On Wednesday is the only day, like Wednesdays and Sundays, I don't work out, but every other day.
Okay, great. Cool. So let's do Wednesday, 11 Pacific, and we'll do a similar kind of thing like this, and we'll run through the alert boxes and all the widgets and stuff that you can overlay and how to get those into Streamlabs and how to get those things into either StreamYard or Restream, depending on what you decide to do between now and then, as far as how you get it out to other sources. And if you go to, like I said, there's every reason why in Streamlabs Pro, you could just go straight out to them. I do think that this is an easier way often to have one guest, this or StreamYard. That's why a lot of people use it, because it's easier to bring on one or two guests this way through these kind of software, because you just send them a link. Ecamm does the same thing. Slobs does not currently. There's other workarounds for it. I use Skype, for example, for that. But in the interim, this is a great way to get you kind of started. And what we'll get those overlays on there so that you're getting that stuff up right away.
And Hal, let me say thank you. And if I could just plug, tomorrow I have a congressman on. I'm really looking forward to it at 12:15, and then I'm having Dr. Jack Brown, he analyzes speech and how people lie, and he could detect all that. And then I'm going to have Hal Sparks on. So that's tomorrow.
Great. Okay, good to know. Yeah. I've heard of him. He's fantastic.
Yeah. And then also today, do you know Jessica Curson?
Yes. Yeah, of course.
She will be on my Beer on the Balcony at 2 p.m. today.
Nice. And that's just for your patrons, right?
Yeah, that's for my patrons and for my YouTube members. And Hal, thank you for getting me started with that. It's been, you have been the greatest teacher, man. I appreciate it.
Oh man, I'm glad to. And like I said, I hope this pays forward on other folks as well, because I think what happens is people get inspired by you being successful with it, and you're like, all right, maybe I can make something of this. I literally had to join Patreon just because I was like, some of the radio shows I listen to are failing financially because they're being screwed literally by, figuratively.
Yeah.
It was literally, they'd be all right, I think. Figuratively by, big moneyed interests who are wiping them out. And I'm like, if you don't have an option, you're doomed. And crowdfunding was starting to grow. And I was like, if I'm going to talk them into it, I got to be a success at it. I got to figure out how it works. I got to make it hum and then go, all right, here's your pathway. This will work. If I went, join this thing, I've heard about it, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. And the same thing is true of all this software and all this other thing. Like, I've been through the crap part of it, and now I know, like, all right, this is totally smooth. Like, this is the part you need to do. This is the next level. And there's, you set 3 tiers and you go, I want to be at this one eventually. And that's what we're going to do. So.
All right, my brother, I'm off to the marijuana.
Yeah, cheers.
And I'll see you
tomorrow.
Well,
I insist. And to everybody else, I will see you at my regular stream at 3:00 today. Good times. And then tomorrow is my radio show. That's if you're watching this at another time, that's probably the issue too. These videos are more for posterity, so people can watch them anytime they want, rather than live streams. I'm only live streaming them because they're about live streaming. So yeah. So anyways, take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And I will see you guys later on. Bye-bye. This is a different way out. I'm going to do a whole different version. Okay. Cheers. Bye, everybody. See you later.